Hi, Six Snipes once again, new series, same format. Welcome to something I call Snipes Does Loadouts. More than just reviewing or publishing a gun guide, I'm going to take a build I like and use it to share with you guys and discuss the finer points of the weapons and the gadgets and the gameplay you can get out of it. We're going to start with something that I made, but if this series takes off, the next episode will be something one of you guys recommends, so like and be sure to put a loadout recommendation in the comments below, and let's jump right into it. Back when the series started and I had, 3 or 4 gun guides out, which was 1 week ago, I got comments talking about how I basically describe all guns as the same. It's like, wow, it's almost as if the top 5 guns I use all have matching playstyles to serve singular individuals' tastes. With the exception of the M16A4 and possibly the M4A1, all of my favorite guns are close-quarter centric machines, none more so than the MP7, one which sits on the throne of kings submachine gun and just happens to be my most viewed video. How convenient. With that being said, I just had to make my pilot episode about this little gun. The MP7 is a veritable CQB monster. In fact, I would contend no gun, with the exception of perhaps one with a gun guide coming this week, performs anywhere near this choice. My video on it a while ago is actually already outdated. As a matter of days after publishing it, the most monumental and historic change to this gun has been made. You can now equip grips. This means that if you have literally any qualm with the tiniest detail of this gun, reload, recoil, aim time, you can fix it. The bad news is this gun costs even more now. In fact, this build is actually probably the most practical, expensive build for any conventional weapon in the game. You'll never run this many attachments on any mode outside of domination, and even with that equipment credit boost, I found myself actually struggling to balance out my supplies to even afford a handgun. But budgeting being done, my ideal build looks like this. One H&K MP7 complete with recoil grip, flash hider, and most importantly the also superior 40 round extended magazine. Optics are up to taste, but I went with the 1x Cobra holographic. The reticle shape is unconventional and awkward to most, and the bloom is admittedly too bright yet faint to get good readings in some environments that are brighter. However, I like the profile of the optic and the low wire frame for minimal ADS clutter. The gun is an animal, and the recoil grip really shows how far the gun comes along once you have recoil control. It's a menace to anyone within 20 meters, and while the optic clarity and performance can be punishing at range, getting used to it can still reward good plays. The backup, as it were, is the Tariq, a gun I haven't ever talked about, nor has anyone else. Very bare bones Wonder 9, standardized 9mm handgun. 10 round capacity, 1 credit. You get what you pay for. You can get maybe 2 guys with 1 mag. The range is alright, and ultimately it's capable of clutching the high stakes scenarios where the high rate of fire intrinsic to the MP7 gets you in trouble.
Oh no!
Running on an empty mag is never a problem when you've got a reliable little handgun like this. It's actually my favorite handgun and my most used outside of domination. In fact, without credit boosts, it's just about the only gun you'll be running on security with more expensive weapons like the MP7 in modes such as push. My OG beginner loadout looked like an MP7 with an extended mag, 1x MRO and a Tariq as backup just so I could shave off and afford flashes. It's not very different than that of what you see in this build, just with less furniture and minus the sexy DLC skin. 2 flashbangs, you might not need them, but I insist on using these in almost all of my builds. Used right, they're just too good. Look out though, used incorrectly, they'll get you killed. Light carrier and light armor are standard practice as well. I always run the gas mask for suppression of the character voice you can't control. It also reduces the flash effect in case you screw up. I screw up a lot.
Who flashed us?
Nice flash.
The short of it is that this build isn't for the big maps. This build is for Tell. This build is for Precinct, and of course this build is for Ministry. Running inside buildings, you're an animal. The MP7 can mow many people down, and the Tariq will clean up whatever leftovers you have. All this while the flashes are a supplement that sets up groups of enemies or anyone in the line of sight to be fully incapable of stopping you from getting the drop on them.
You triggered my trap card!
It's free real estate.
The gas mask only improves your ability to avert detection or at least delay their noticing your location. Low weight, meanwhile, means low drag. You can maneuver around the map, but also reactively navigate defensive sites with ease. Staying inside the alleyways and tight corridors of maps is paramount. You're capable, but better off staying away from long-range encounters. Play the corners. With this build, you can expect to be a defensive asset to your team. The first capture is yours to defend, or you can go for a flank route and take the enemy's location and keep them out instead. Pushing on objectives and retaining control of tight areas is your strong suit. Keep low and hunting down campers is also highly satisfying and doable with a light build like this. Ultimately, this is probably my most competitive build and playstyle. At my best, I make plays with this loadout, and if you guys pick it up, maybe you'll find the perks too. Next week, maybe I want to make an episode with one of your guys' suggestions, so feel free to get as specific as you want and tell me about what some of your favorite builds are. I won't necessarily go with the most liked entry, but more upvotes won't hurt. I'll also tell you that since you've made it all the way through this video, you might be interested in my Discord server that's finally ready, so hop on if you want to play some games at some point. Link in the descriptions below. That's all I have to say for today. I'm 6Snipes, I do Loadouts, and I'll see you in the next one.